Let's see about teacher permission. There are two scenarios that I am going to explain in this demo. One is you just have to create teacher permission for this staff, Sandra. She is in charge for Lotus and Blossom only. Of all the available classes, you want to grant access only for these two classes because she is in charge only for that. And the features you need to enable only newsletter and circular for this staff, and the permission is like you're allowing her to create a newsletter and delete the record that has been created by her, and same for circular as well. So you need to remember the delete option is basically for whatever records she has created, only that can be deleted if she has delete permission. She cannot delete the records which are created by other staff members. So basically this is the scenario one, and scenario two is slightly complex, which means yeah, the teacher name is Poonam, and here the class in charge is Lily and Blossom. So within that, for each class, you need to enable different permission and different features. Say for example, for Lotus, you need to enable newsletter and circular, and for Blossom, you need to enable events and holidays. And when you come to the permission and you wish to grant only create permission for Blossom class and create and view for Lotus class. What this means is if she wants to access the class Blossom, in that she can only create the features like events and holidays, because that's the permission that has been assigned to that particular staff and the class. So let's get into detail and I will show you how to create these two scenarios in the application. So click on settings, click on staff profile, click on create staff details, and name of the staff is Sandra as mentioned in this example, Sandra. And you need to create username and password for Sandra. For this you have three options. You can create username with Sandra's email ID or Sandra's phone number. In case if you do not have Sandra's email ID or phone number, you can still choose this other option and just enter the name here. So that will be the username for Sandra. So in all three cases, you need to make a note of the username and the password, and you need to communicate to the particular staff so that they can access uh, in the admin panel using that user credential. So in this case I am going to use phone number as Sandra's username, and I am going to set the password. So this username and password has to be communicated to Sandra. And when you select a drop down, the list of classes are displayed here. So if you go back to the example, here we have shown only Lotus and Blossom that's been assigned to Sandra. So click on Lotus and Blossom, and when you come to the feature newsletter and circular, so newsletter and circular, you're enabling these two features for this particular staff. And when coming to permission, you're going to enable create and delete permission. So create and delete permission. So now it's all set, and for this particular staff you have assigned Lotus and Blossom, and you have enabled newsletter and circular, and you have given permission to create and delete as well. So click on create. So now this staff profile has been created successfully. The email is showing blank because I did not give any email ID. So if in case if you know the email ID of all the staff, you can create username with email ID. In case if you know the phone number of all the staff, you can create username with phone number. Now let me log in as staff and I will show you how it is. So I know the username for Sandra is password. Click on, and for Sandra only these two features will be visible here, and even if you click here only these two features will be assigned, because that's the permission we have assigned to this particular staff. So in case if you click on newsletter, you can click on create newsletter and you can fill up all the details. And while coming to the class drop down, since we have assigned only these two classes for this staff, Lotus and Blossom, you will see only these two classes visible in the drop down, and same for circular. So create circular, you can fill up all the details, and for the class you will see only lotus and blossom, because that's the class which has been assigned to this particular staff. So create and delete permissions are enabled, so you are able to create it, and you can also able to delete this particular circular. Say for example, so it's getting created. So I can also delete, because I have the delete permission, so it has been deleted successfully. So now let me log in as staff Poonam. So I know the username is Poonam's phone number. So if Poonam logs in with this user credential, basically she will see the list of features. So just to see what all features has been assigned to Poonam, click on this preschool. You will see newsletter, circular, events and holidays. So basically if you click on newsletter, and if you create a newsletter, just fill up all this information, and finally if you come to the class, if you click on this class drop down, you will see only lotus has been displayed here, because as shown in this example, newsletter is only for lotus, not for blossom. So that's why you will see the lotus in the drop down. And similarly, since you have create permission for lotus, you are able to create newsletter, this one thing. And if you come to the second feature, which is circular, so click on create circular, you fill up all the details. Finally when you select this class drop down, you see only lotus, because here also circular is available only for lotus. And next feature is event. So if you click on event, click on create event. Finally, after filling up all the details, if you come to this class drop down, you see only blossom, and lotus is not displayed here. That's because the events and holidays is available only for blossom and not for the lotus.